we are really grateful that Pastor Lenny can be with us here. He had planned to come to Texas to blow the trumpet, to give the awareness of saving the next generation. But due to health issue, he was not able to come. He went to the emergency room and just was released a few days ago. But he has such a strong, big burden to share this important information with us, rescuing the next generation. So I would like to really thank God for bringing up the trumpeter ministry to let us know this really, really important issue facing our next generation. And Pastor Lenny had been a youth pastor for many, many years. He had homeschooled her daughters for almost 20 years and many experience in raising up the next generation, serving the youth. And during the COVID time, he quit his job in the serving in the church and started the trumpeter ministry. And over the past 3 years, we have really seen how God had used the trumpeter ministry and Pastor Lenny. He traveled to different cities, sharing the important information of rescuing the next generation and the biblical worldview. And as a result, more and more Chinese churches, more and more brothers and sisters come to realize that it's our responsibility, that this is a challenge of this generation, that parents, Christian parents, need to rise up and being a trumpeter, guard the family at home. So yeah, I would like to give the time to Pastor Lenny. So today probably we need to present in English.
Okay, good. All right, that's good opportunity for me to speak English. Okay, all right, so let me share my PowerPoint. Okay. All right, can you see it? All right. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share. And again, I apologize cannot be there in person. I had to break the promise, but I went to ER, but fortunately now it's okay. But I just need rest, so I guess I still can do it this way. So I hope next time, okay. My topic is saving the next generation, mobilize the whole church. I'm going to speak from the 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1 to 19 as a background. But first, I want to share you a short video about my ministry. It's in Chinese, but at least you can see some event, all right? That's what I have been doing. This is a news report.
北美华人教会的下一代正逐渐流失，现今更为严重与急迫。由吹号者事工发起的抢救下一代策略研讨会，在南加、北加、大纽约区等各地举办。面对这刻不容缓的议题，吸引众教会牧者同工们积极参与。在加州有82间不同机构教会，超过150位跨宗派的牧长同工参加。大纽约区也有50个不同的教会机构。近100位出席。吹号者事工 Trumpeter Ministries 于2021年由郑立新牧师创立，以抢救下一代、每日灵修、圣经世界观、在家教育为事工重点。吹号在圣经中有不同作用，如警戒现在最终和危险的百姓，召集百姓集结并行动，或是与敌人征战，也有在欢乐的日子和节气中的吹号。郑牧师领受神的呼召，看见下一代正处在一个充满危机的时代，希望通过策略研讨会在各地吹号，使大家了解现今家庭及下一代所面临的严峻考验。借着神的话通达实务，让神的灵 指引所当行的。
在我过去20年的服事里面，因为神把我放在年轻人英文堂的服事，借着这样的服事、这样的环境，神让我看到我们的下一代，特别是在美国所面临的很多的挑战。也是因为这样，神让我看见以后，我更去研究、更去发现这些问题它的根源在哪里。我觉得神就给我这样呼召，要来跟父母和教会，特别是华人的教会，来看到这些危险。那我们一起如何来抢救我们的下一代？
现今的美国远离神，处处充满危险与挑战，需要大家站出来，了解我们在家庭、教育及教会中的正确角色与其重要性，影响并抢救我们的下一代。
Okay, there's just some events I host last years, and the First Samuel chapter 30 here talk about when David went out to fight, and when he came back to his hometown, he found out the Amalekites already took all their children, their wife away. And this picture looks like just like COVID-19, when God forced us back to our home, and many parents realize, yes, their children, our children, their mindset has been taken away by the world. So we need to know we have.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. Texas, oh, actually, this talk about back to the Houston is a control center, right? So what type of problem? I think we should all know.
This is Houston. This is.
In America, we've been losing the Christian population. Each generation, we see less Christian. You see, now Gen Z is 34%, used to be just 12%. And the most I concern is those who grew up in the church. This is numbers showing in American church, 64%, those children that grew up in the church going to leave the church. But as I am Chinese, I'm more also concerned about in Chinese church. And you can see up to 75 and 90%, even higher. We always say that Jesus said this parable. If you have 100 sheep, you lost one sheep, what are you going to do? You're going to lay aside that 99 to pursue the one, right? But I'm afraid today we may lose 99, but oftentimes we say, oh, I still have one. Yes, as an English pastor, I still have a few left, but I'm not satisfied. Why so many children grew up in the church and they're not coming back? And any company, if you're facing this situation, you got to think about to change your strategy or to do something else. But unfortunately, I feel like church, we're still hoping to do the same thing year after year and pray there's something going to be different. Yet the world is been increasing a lot more than what you can think. So first, we need to know we live in a different time now. As Charles Tyler said, if you live in the 1500s, everybody going to believe in God. It's hard to not believe in God. But year 2000, the default value is people are not going to believe in God because time has changed. So Andrew Rook carried on the thoughts that we need to realize that we live in a different time, then we can solve the real problem. Otherwise, if we just keep on with doing the same thing, same old thing, we just thought America still live in like back then, still good old days. There's no more good old days. As I graduated from Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, our president wrote this book, The Gathering Storm. He also said that this storm of secularization has been going on for over a decade and over a century, actually, over a century. But in today's, or I say 2020, COVID-19, 2024, dramatic strengthen and isolations. So we see the problem more obvious now. So this is my trumpet sound. Our next generation is the most important yet most neglected mission field. We often talk about mission, but yet we didn't think about our next generation is the biggest mission field. We have 18 years we can invest, but yet we're losing them. And we often think about our next generation. We just do children's Sunday school, youth group. If that works, today I'm going to promote different way. I've been doing that for over 20 years. And today we need to see whole church need to get involved. Everybody, not just for those parents. Everybody need to get involved. You see, when David and his warrior, when they found out their children been taken away and their wives, they cry until no more strength. I feel sometimes maybe first thing we need to weep. We need to cry for those that grew up in the church, but they're gone. And not just be satisfied, oh, they're still doing very successfully in the world. We need to cry, we need to weep for their eternal separation with God. And yet they have 18 years in the church. We're going to skip some. And we see another choice is that people are going to stone David because David is a leader. And so leader needs to take the responsibility. But today I'm going to just point a finger. I want to say this is the whole church issue, especially the children are weaker one. We need to go to help them, not just let the children Sunday school teacher or youth worker to do it. So I want to show this, use this video to show the intensity, the urgency we need to get involved.
Broken arrow! Broken arrow! I'll say it again! Broken arrow! Broken arrow!
Confirmed, broken arrow.
Broken arrow confirmed!
Broken arrow? That means that an American unit's been overrun, causing every combat aircraft for support.
My God, there's no hiding it now.
I hope everybody got this message, broken arrow. When the ground troop is almost going to be overrun by enemy, the only last hope is send out this broken arrow message. And headquarters need to send out whatever help they can help to rescue the ground troop. For 20 years, I'm just like the captain fighting on the ground. And really, we have been overrun. But sad thing is, the headquarters, the adult, the troop still having a good time. We need to go down to get involved, to save our children. Every time when I go into the church, I see, wow, the majority, the main resource still is adult. And just, oh, children, go to Sunday school. That is really, we need to wake up. So David, he didn't just weep with no hope. He doesn't just take the blame. He strengthened himself in the Lord, his God. And that's what we need to do. We need to strengthen ourselves in the Lord, even we're facing such big challenge. And then he inquired of the Lord, should I pursue after this band? Should I overtake them? He answered, pursue, For you shall surely overtake and shall surely rescue. Oftentimes we just say, oh, I will pray for them. Yes, prayer is very important, but prayer without action is just nothing. Because God also in charge parent, in charge church with responsibility. So I pray, yes, I pray very hard. We need to take some action to rescue, because God said you need to pursue and you surely can rescue them back. And I'm going to share with few strategies that God entrusts the trumpeter ministry, and we've been doing. It's that not just a theory. That's what we're doing, and hope by this we can help churches, help parents. But they are not. It's not just all these things. But will be a starting point. Before that, I want to show my own journey. That's I came from Taiwan. I came here already not young. I studied computer science. Came here in 1988 to get my master's degree in New York, and I got married. I have 4 daughters. We homeschool them all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade, and they all gone. I mean, they all, we are empty nest. My youngest one, praise the Lord, they're still in Christ. Okay, they're just not at home now. All right, so we are empty home now. But another track is from 2001. I started to in charge of the English ministry of my church, and through that, let's see a problem next generation. So 2007, I let go my computer job and went to the seminary. In 2010, came back as full-time ministry. And then until 2021, I started the trumpeter ministries. And when I serve in the EM, you're not just youth pastor, I'm the everything pastor. From kindergarten to 80 years old, my father-in-law. So while whoever speaks English, I'm in charge. All right. And so I'm speaking from my own experience, how to facing these challenges. The name trumpeter is from this verse, Ezekiel 33. And God called Ezekiel as a watchman. And the watchman see the danger arrive. He needs to sound, he needs to blow the trumpet for his own sake. If he see the danger and he blow the trumpet, he going to be guilty. All right. So that's God been this burden in me that's actually been complained with my wife. So why you hold me into the English ministry? Because I grew up in Taiwan. I supposed to enjoy my life in the Chinese ministry. But I know God, now I know God did that for a purpose. So 2021, I started this ministry called Trumpeter Ministries. Our main purpose is to equip parents, grandparents, and church, not directly involved with the youth, all right? Because that's God entrusts parents to do it. So first, how do we pursue it? We need to begin with God's word. And probably all know this well. But I just want to emphasize that we need to finish the job by age 12. And we've been missing the most important time, 12 years. Think about it. A child grew up in the church when they hit 12 years old. How much desire, how taste about God's word? That's something we need to rethink about it. If we just give them easy stuff, drawing, Bible story, it is really very sad that we waste a lot of time. And so I don't want to get into this okay, I can see this is a survey that's American review the Bible, but they don't read it. They become nation of biblical illiteracy. And how do we fix the problem? It's not Sunday school. It's parents. Deuteronomy chapter 6 emphasize that. We all know that, but actually we don't practice that, especially in the church. Right? And before this, they have a survey done that said people, they asked many high schoolers said, what are Sodom and Gomorrah? And you know, many young people said, Sodom and Gomorrah sounds like a couple. You see the problem? So we will not believe more than what we know, and we will not live higher than our beliefs. This generation must get deadly serious about the problem of biblical illiteracy, or a frighteningly large number of Americans, Christian included, will go on thinking that Sodom and Gomorrah lived happily ever after. And that's what we are seeing now, right? Because we don't read the Bible, or we twist the Bible. For past 4 years, I've been hosting this Bible devotions Monday to Friday, twice a day. And with many young people, children, youth, parents, if I have another energy, I'm going to promote about how we do this. We need to train our kids when they're young, to have not only know the Bible, have a desire. We read through the Bible every year from Genesis to Revelation. Right? So that's another talk when I go to churches. So this is our ministries every day. And of course, now I'm travel a lot. Many children, they can lead. So I don't need to be there. Second, renew our mind from a secular to biblical worldview. I'm going to emphasize this more. 2021, Wall Street Journal has this report, very interesting. They say, young people said disconnect keeps them from church. And what do you think that young people think the church disconnect with the world? Race, gender, immigration, especially LGBTQ. So we don't want to talk about this in the church, but yet this is the issue that take our youth away from church, because the world has been using that to attack church. And that is why the biblical worldview is so important. Around the year 2000, I come across this book written by Chuck Colson, How Now Should We Live? I know Peter is in the Colson Fellow program. I almost joined it, okay? But in 2004, I attended their online course and got a certificate. And since then, I already want to blow the trumpet, because in this book, he already tell us what happened. And today's actually all proof from this book. They already warned us. And this, you see, at the end of the course, I asked Chuck Colson, said, the biblical worldview is so important. Why nobody talk about it? Why the seminary never teach about this? And that's his answer. Look at this, his agony. He was a trustee member of the Golden Conwell in Boston. And he said, I've been pushing this and I couldn't make it happen. And look at what he say. I think it is criminal that we send shepherds out to shepherd the flocks who haven't a clue what the culture think. So that's the problem. That many pastors, they go out to pastor the church, they have no idea about the culture. And especially if the American pastor doesn't know about, how about Chinese pastor? And I think that's the big gap. So I have this burden. We want to help the Chinese pastor, especially, we need to know about the culture. So he warned us, pastors must begin to redefine their task to include intellectual evangelism. For if they do not preach the issue of the mind, they will find themselves increasingly alienated from their own flock. And that's exactly what happened now. So because the world is being indoctrinated our next generation, and we don't talk about this, they are going to run away. And merchants also warned the pastor, said, if we don't talk about the issues, we just preaching to the air. And hope we don't just preach into the air. We want to preach to the issues. So Chuck Colson warned us, the church single failure in recent decades has been the failure to see Christianity is a life system or worldview that governs every area of existence. We cannot limit our faith just in the church or just in the spiritual area. We need to know or teach our Christian faith govern every areas of our life, including government, including all these issue come up in the election. So the result is that we cannot answer the question that the world challenges us with. For example, if our children come back from school, say, oh, mom and dad, teacher said we evolved from monkey. How do we answer? How parents? Do we equip parents to how to answer these questions? Or we just say, oh, just believe in Jesus, right? Of course, believe in Jesus is very important, but we also need to equip parents, equip every Christian to know how to answer the question that the world challenges us. We don't know how, or we lost the ability to live differently. If our Christianity is emphasis the activity in the church, then outside the church, we don't show much difference, right? Everybody still look for the good school district, this type of comfort of life. We are not different. We miss the beauty and the depth of God's design. When we conform to the world, so when we read the Bible, we say, hey, need to be fruitful and multiply. Wow, you think about, wow, that's impossible. How can we afford that, right? But yet that's God's blessing to us. At the end, we have been wiped out by the tsunami of the world. And that is really what we are facing now. And even Martin Luther said, a gospel that does not deal with the issues of the day is not the gospel at all. So we cannot say, oh, that's politics. But every issue, they challenge the gospel. And we need to know how to answer that. Oftentimes we say we just focus on the Great Commissions. We don't do cultural mandate. But this is how we live. The cultural mandate is how individually how we live. Are you going to get married? Who are going to get married? How many children are we going to have? Where are you going to live? What type of job? So everybody need to involve in the cultural mandate. It's not like, oh, church needs to have a cultural mandate program. No, everybody, how you live, that's a cultural mandate. So if we don't teach believers, Christians, how to live, then the world been teaching us how to live. And John Stott, probably we all know very well, also warned us. He said, one of the greatest tragedies of our time is, on the one hand, conservatives are biblical but not contemporary. Yeah, we don't talk about issue. We just speak about personal relation with God. Very important, but we cannot just always stay there. But while on the other hand, liberals and radicals are contemporary but not biblical, right? You see all this left agenda, they come out want to change the society, but they are not biblical. But yet they have passion. And that's what he wants us. We need to be a person who struggle to relate God's unchanging word to our ever-changing world, who refuse to sacrifice truth to reverence the truth, but who resolve instead in equal measure to be faithful to scripture and pertinent to today. So, yeah, especially election, we see when people want to earn your vote, they change the truth, change their positions. But we need to stay firm with God's word, but also know how to relate it to the changing world. And I just want to show you this in the book. Really, they warned us many years ago, right? We live in a culture that is at best morally indifferent. Battle weary, we are tempted to withdraw into safety of our sanctuary, to keep busy by plugging into every program offered by our mega churches, hoping to keep ourselves and our children safe from the coming desolation. And I grew up as a Christian. I involved many church programs, and actually, the church growth has been my passion. I visit whenever on vacation. I visit mega churches. I was in the field. I read most of the church growth books, and I'm working hard on that. But today I talking about different because God showed me the different path. And the world is changing. We cannot just hide ourselves, keep ourselves and our children busy in the church program. We need to know that's the battle of the worldview. If we have not identified that, we are doomed to lose the battle. And we are playing catch up now. So basically today is a battle of worldviews. One side is a God or no God, or called the naturalism. God's word or man's opinions. Creation or evolution. God's law, man's science. Male, female, multiple genders. And you see, you keep on piling up. We need to go down to the root. You cannot just talk about the issue. That's not enough. Because the worldview is the root. I don't have picture. Worldview is the root. That behavior, the culture we see, that's just the reflection of the worldview. And today, if you know what's happening, it's just from this chart, from Chuck Colson, you will know the problem. Back in Marx's time, he divided people to two groups, the oppressed and the oppressors. And really, that's Satan's tactic. He divide and conquer, right? So back then, he used this economic power, but the poor, or the capitalists, they divided. But how about today? Today, he divided, make women, blacks, LGBTQ as the oppressed, and who are the oppressor? White, male, heterosexual, or Christians. You see, when we are divided by this, and the problems are coming. Once, when I finished talk, one mother came to me. She said her son got a PhD from sociologists. And every time they met, they fight, they quarrel. Her son said to her, "Mom, I struggle because you belong to the group that I hate." So you see, our young generation been brainwashed to think that if you are in certain positions, you're the oppressors. And why people have such passion? Because they thought they are doing a good things. That's why the worldview is so important. They think they are doing a good things. And 2016, I went to Israel. I visited the Holocaust Museum, and the tour guide told us that those who work for Hitler are all highly educated people. Why? Because they've been brainwashed to think they are doing a good thing. And today we're seeing the same problem. Many people, they protest, they get involved because they think they are doing a good things. Because they've been trapped into this utopianism. there's no sin, but by the power of politics, they can create a utopia. But yet, without knowing, they actually unleash the world's power. And we are seeing that today as our country. So you see his warning. When we cannot name or identify evil, we lose the capacity to deal with it. And ultimately, we compound its deadly effects. Isn't that so true? Nobody dare to say, hey, that's wrong, that's evil. And so the evil keep growing, and we will swallow up by the evil. And eventually we need to say evil are good. And it's happening. So we need to renew our mind. If we want to live straight, we have to think straight. This from John Stott. If we want to think straight, we have to have renewed minds. Once our minds are renewed, we should become preoccupied not with the way of the world, but with the will of God, which will change us. So I developed a curriculum based on the book, How Now Should We Live? And I taught online during the COVID. And later on, some seminary also invite me to teach. This is a Malaysia's baptism seminary in Malaysia, and some seminary in New York. And some church started to use the curriculum. And on the right hand, that the elderly man is 91 years old, and he took my overview class. So there's 10 lectures. So far it's in Chinese. Although I taught in English before, but because I want to let the Chinese parents know first. So this is our student workbook. You can buy it from the CCC in New York, the bookstore. So this has been available for church to use through the video curriculum. So I'm hoping through this more Christian parents or even non-believers would know what's going on in the world and how can we have a biblical response to it. Just happened this Thursday, we also going to have our own class for those who their church is not ready to host yet, or yeah. So you're welcome to sign up. We're going to start it this Thursday night. So that's worldview, and I just briefly talk about family. As Peter also mentioned, we really need to focus on the family. Right? If church want to impact the faith of young people, we need to equip parents and grandparents, yes, to disciple their children at home. And this is the goal of a purpose of the trumpet ministries also. We need to do it God's way, not easy, not we thought this easy way. Oh, we can have a children program. Oh, we can have a youth program. That I think not only that doesn't work, they counter the purpose. Okay, so I like this quote that the problem is not about what's happening at the church. It's about what's missing at home. So you see, we've been missing the target. Whatever we think about passing the faith to the next generation, we do it. Hey, the church can, let's do it Awana. Oh, let's do a VBS. Let's do a summer. Oh, I mean, I try everything. Okay. And I in charge all these things. After school, summer camp, our summer camp 6 weeks, right? Doesn't mean that mean nothing at all. But you also need to, you cannot just count on that only, right? So that's our model. Our church like fatherless church for our next generation. Because senior pastor deal with adult, right? A child that come to church for 18 years, probably he doesn't know who is a senior pastor. because he always in the children program, youth program, English ministry. He doesn't know who is a senior pastor. Our senior pastor doesn't speak to him, to her. And what he see was what? Children pastor, and usually pastor wife involved with children, right? That's the model. Isn't just like our home. The kids seldom talk to father. Or the mother taking care of it. Because adult, man, we involve more important things, so-called. And that is really, we are blind by the God of this world. So how we can change this to the church, the role of the church to equip parents, not to replace. Because you think about it, Sunday school only 1 hour. How much you can do? But if you equip parents, grandparents, every day they're with them. All right. So every Christian parent is called to make the home a ministry. All right. So, okay, so far so good. I'm gonna hit the next one, education. You can do perfectly at church, you can do perfect at home, but if we didn't take back the education, we still missing the mark, because this is a big challenge. I would say this is the single most important challenge for our day, and yet not many people want to address that. I call the education is where our children are shaped. I see so many kids grew up in the church. Oh, they'll sing, Jesus loves me, this I know. Wow, so cute, right? And Christmas time, they'll act as the little sheep, man. Oh, so cute. But then when they start to go to school, as we see the school started, and they start to learn all this idea, and then become the elite of the world, and they're gone. And also become the enemy of God. Probably you know many of that. You don't need me to address that. Just whether you want to admit or not. I travel every week. I see all this everywhere. And I say in my church, we need to really wake up. Unless we change to use biblical worldview to train our own kids become the soldier of Christ. Otherwise, the world going to train to become the elite of the world. And because it's 16,000 hours. Church, Friday night, Sunday, 2 hours, 3 hours at most. But this is from K to 12, 16,000 hours, the battle of my heart and the mind. And the real battlefield is not college, it's kindergarten. During the COVID, we have a children's Sunday school by Zoom. And so my wife taught kindergarten groups, 5 years old. So she showed American flag and asked the kids, oh, what do you see when you see American flag? A 5 years old girl, I know her very well. I love her very well. You know what's her answer? I see the racial discrimination. So you know, 5 years old, they already been taught this. So they don't need to wait until college now, because the force is coming down big and quick. Yesterday, we just have a talk. The video going to be, the full video going to be available tonight. I encourage you to watch. I have a coworker. She was a former public school and private school teacher. So she know all this stuff. So whenever I said, hey, I'm going to this city, this state, can you do some research for me? So this is what she dig out. Austin, okay? I don't have much. I just briefly talk about it. He said, oh, we are in the big red state. We are safe. Our school district, we don't have LGBTQ, this type of issue. All right? Is that true? This Austin Williamson. I know it's okay. All right. I don't. Okay, she dig into that. Wow, this okay, because this is red state, right? Because this region. All right. But now, the new program called SEL, they won't say CRT, they call SEL. You look into this, okay, your school district called SEL. And like a Troy horse, they're coming into your school. From pre-K, every state, 50 states have this program. And 27 from K to 12. And the reasons why they're from pre-K. The world know they need to get this to what's 2 years old, 3 years old. They know when you get into the very early, they got it. All right. And oftentimes we church say, wait until they're teenager, they come and see help. I think we are too naive. We thought the kids are so cute. Oh, we just haven't enjoying the good time with them. But when you see the problem, it's too late. When you're a teenager, oh, you got started. The world that's outsmarter than church. They know they need to get the kids from pre-K. And you see, that's from Wrong Rock. I don't know, that's the district, you know. And they already had this SEL because SEL is run by this castle. Okay. I encourage you to watch the entire video presented by our co-worker. I just get it. And you see, that's your school district, Wrong Rock. And they have this program. In this, I don't have time to do it. It sounds very good, like social emotional learning. All right. And through these type of things, social emotional learning, to introduce critical race theory into the school, into the kids' mind. All right. It's just look at all these terms. I hope identity, intersectionality, agency, become a resistant, become activist. And this is a program into every school now. All right. So I just sound the trumpet here. That's and this organization called Castle has been there for 30 years, but until 2020, they changed in their work. 2020, they work, so they started getting into all these programs. So you think about this, how they train the Wrong Rock School District, the faculty. What do I do if a student come out to me as a transgender or non-binary? So your response for teachers, think, oh, thank you for sharing your identity with me. Or what is your chosen name and pronouns? Should I call you by this name and pronoun in front of your parents or in front of other students? You see, right away, they're going to affirm their gender identity. And they're going to say, should I hide this from your parents or not? So, and then what not to do? What do I do if a student come out, say I'm transgender non-binary? Do not contact their parents and out them to their family. You see that? That is the training to your teachers. All right. Okay. I don't have time to go through details. If you're a parent from this district, you better know this. And that is a video that how do they train. The left side is for the teachers. And the right side is a transgender woman to teach them how to help the kids. All right. So I just need
the only way to fight stigma and shame.
So that is happening in our school district to our kids. So education is the real battleground. And think about that. There's a Harvard mission statement originally is the Christ should be the foundation of learning. I think today we missed that. We thought about Christian education just limited on the Sunday. Yeah, when I was a seminary, we have a course called Christian education, and it's all we talk about, we learned about is for Sunday. For some reason, We thought Monday to Friday, that is neutral, but nothing is neutral. Right? So this has been our model. Monday to Saturday, we worship different God. We learn different religions. It's called secularism. Oh, Sunday, we have Bible. And if you want to add so many example, I learned it from my own youth group, youth, because my kids never go to public school. The reason why I need to sound the trumpet because my youth told me what do they learn at school, and that's already back a few years ago. Just in last month, a mother told me her daughter's ninth grade in Detroit area. The teacher assigned her to do a project. Don't be shocked. Oh, you should shock. The project name is How to Murder Your Parents. Yes, how to murder your parents. But more shocking is that when the mother went to complain to the teacher kind of tried to wish words and said, hey, the worst is coming. If you don't want to do this project, the worst is coming. And no wonder our kids have so many depression. All right, I can give you a lot of real case. So we need to not only stop those evil things to our kids, we can fill them with good things. And that's something we're missing. You think about that. If you learn math, science, biology, arts, history, all from biblical worldview and see the beauty, see the God design, wouldn't it be an amazing learning experience? I learned it when the kids are homeschooling. I said, wow, you can learn this subject so beautifully. And that's why the school should be a sanctuary also. And the study is a form of worship. We cannot just limit our worship. Oh, on Sunday, we worship God. We love you. We sing praise song. We Bible study. But Monday, Friday, how about you, when the Monday to Saturday, you write a report, you give glory to God. Isn't a better, also even a better worship to God? Or instead, you're going to write those how to murder your parents? So really, may God have mercy on our nation, on our school. We are dumping the most evil thing to our youngest one, most vulnerable one. And God going to judge that. So our ministry been focused to encourage, support, equip parents to do homeschooling, especially for Chinese parents, because they thought, oh, I don't know English. So we try to share our experience to equip. So every year in June, we have a whole day conference. Each month, we also have monthly meeting. This coming Saturday, we have a monthly meeting to encourage, make it a community for people to do homeschooling. And we also encourage church. Yes, church get involved with much easier. So this is a church in Philadelphia. They have 13 homeschool families together under church umbrella and become a co-op center. This year, after 3 years, they have first graduation. Pastor's son graduate from high school. And they are so touched in the mood that they can produce their own graduate. All right. So that's how we're going to fight back. We need to train our own soldiers. A 3-4 core is not quickly broken. We need to combine church, family, and education. If we miss that part, yes, that is not going to work. Or it's under the mercy of enemies. And thank God to our ministry, we also have many family in New York, our area homeschools. So twice a month, they also gather at home as a support group. And last year, I visited Houston. I know many of you from Houston, and I visited the co-op center, and the director said this, I was so inspired. She said to me, the Chinese mom will save the world. Yes, by one child at a time. we're going to save the world. Without Christian education, without the principle of Christian included into young life, we are simply rearing pagans. The education of children for God is the most important business done on earth, especially in such time like this. So we have YouTube channel with all these resources, and we have a website, also help many Chinese parents can start to do homeschooling. Lastly, quickly, we need to rebuild our community. And I think you can do all the right thing, but if no community, hard to survive, especially for our children. Really, we need to think about it. If they don't have a like-minded friends, it's hard to survive. And we need to build this type of community. If community broken, it's very difficult to pass down the faith. And that's why we are facing this now. And you see, even the Fuller seminar had this book talk about, we separate our kids, hope to help them to grow their faith. Ironically, that segregation is cause kids to share their faith. So you see, biblical worldview is so important. Throughout the Bible, we never see children's Sunday school. Worshiping together has been all the kids' experience from Old Testament to New Testament. Jesus preached Sermon on the Mount. He didn't say, oh, the children, you go away. You see, today we can never have the miracle of 5 bread to feed the 5,000 because that's a little boy bring the 5 bread and 2 fish, right? And today Jesus preached, if Jesus come to our church to preach, where is the boy? The boys will be in the Sunday school. They won't hear Jesus preaching. So our ministry also, like, we organize a tour to Israel, to Turkey, and we all together, the retreat. I know just this past week, I'm supposed to go to Houston to have this retreat together. So, and last year, when we come back from the tour, we need to write a report. So this mother, after this is from Israel tour, the mother said, oh, the most important thing is we all together, right? And her 11 years old son said, during this trip, we worship together, we share testimony, we learn from older people, we take care of the younger kids. In the Holy Land, we all together, we listen to the same sermon, we walk through the Bible together. Wow, I was so touched. We need to walk through the Bible together with our next generation because the faith need to be experienced together, not separate. So that's we interpret. Probably if you're not Chinese, you don't know the meaning of the Yigongmu Mountains, right? This is ancient Chinese saying that's this elderly man in front of his village has 2 huge mountains. So in and out of village, everybody need to walk around the mountain. And he got fed up. So I'm not going to just always doing this way. I want to move the mountain. How? One shovel at a time. So people are laughing. How can you move the mountain by just shoveling one at a time? And he said, I cannot finish. My children can continue. My children cannot finish. My grandchildren can continue. You see, he has an idea of generations. And this story, of course, that's so-called God was so touched. So move the mountain for him. And this is a revelation I got 2 years ago when I was in the hospital. And God revealed to me and said, hey, the ministry or trumpet ministry is like you go move the mountain, especially education. Think about it. I don't know why so many ministries, so many involved in next generation, they all talk about how to just miss the education. Nobody want to challenge education. And yet that is the mountain today we need to move. Zechariah, prophet Zechariah also has this phrase, "Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, you should become a plain." So we need to, like Caleb, say, "Give me the mountain, the most challenging mountain." And yet, God's help, we're going to move the mountain. Nothing was missing, young or boy or girls, plunder or anything, because David brought everything back. You see, when we pursue, we can get them all back. The righteous man is the one who lives for the next generation. When the older generation of men does not step down and pull the younger generation up, the next generation perish. I'm going to end this story. That's in 1940, Nazi Germany wiped out Europe very quick. British sent all their army, about 200,000 soldiers to help France. But France falling apart so quickly. So in Dunkirk, this area, 400,000 Allied soldiers from British, France, Belgium was trapped at Dunkirk. And it just almost going to be wiped out by the German. Only way out of rescue, escape, is by the channel, a British channel. But if they mobilize the entire Royal Navy, only can rescue 30 to 40 soldiers. What are they going to do? They have 400 soldiers. So the Prime Minister Winston Churchill broadcast said, "Whoever has a boat, your big boat, small one, mobilize, save one soldier at a time." So all these British people, they mobilized. In 9 days, that rescued almost 340 soldiers. The newspaper said this is a Dunkirk miracle. I want to show you this is a clip from the movie Dunkirk.
What do you see? Home.
Later on, I find out actually only the small boat can rescue them because the harbor has been destroyed. The big battleship cannot come closer. Oftentimes we think about, oh, we need a superhero. Superheroes faster, then we fine. But all we need is every person, young and old, we can go to rescue. And if we do it together, there's going to be a miracle.
What do you see?
Very often people say, "Oh, personally, what you say is very good, important, but my kids, it's too late. My kids grown up, they lost, but never give up. Because even the captives of the mighty shall be taken, and the prey of the tyrant be rescued. For I will contend with those who contend with you, and I will save your children." So God is waiting for us to contend with the world. If we say, "Oh, just this way, God could not going to do anything." But if we rise up to contend with the world, God going to save our children. God going to move the mountain, not us. So that's my schedule for this year, and that's sorry. I thought I can finish strong and well, but I stopped at the beginning of September. And you see, look at my August schedule. Because my August every weekend is a retreat. And also, I think God know I need this rest. Because next week I'm going to Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Albany. I'm going to Taiwan. In the end of the year, I was going to Northern Bay Area also. So that's my vow to God. That said, 3 years ago when God asked me to do this ministry, say, "Oh, who am I?" They said, "How am I going to do?" I just say, "Oh, if whoever invite me, I'll say yes," and that's how I buy into it. We also have a magazine called Trumpet Ministries. No, Voice of Trumpeter. To talk about this, and usually our ministry is in the telegrams. It's safer to communicate, so you're welcome to join. And but we also have a line. We also WeChat, Telegram, and our email. So I'm sure you can find. If you want to connect with me, you can find me out. So again, thank you for this opportunity of space. Thanks, Peter, for arranging this meeting for me to share. I'll be happy to take some questions. And then yeah, okay, I'll stop here.
Thank you, Pastor Lenny. So we can ask some questions. We can ask both in English and Chinese, whatever language you prefer. Yeah, you can speak Chinese.
Hello, Pastor. I want to thank you for your ministry because I'm a foreigner here, first generation immigrant, and I want to thank you because your ministry helped me a lot when I decided to do homeschool with my kids. And I have a question about the different. How do you think compare homeschool and Christian school? So I hear you compare a lot between Christian homeschool and public school. So how I want to hear your opinion about difference between homeschool and Christian school.
Okay, yeah, very often. Thank you. Yeah, often had this question: Christian school and homeschool, right? Christian school you also need to count is a right Christian school, is a biblical Christian school. Nowadays, even is a Christian school, we cannot just trust the name, right? So if you around you have a good Christian school, by all means, and we also need to support those Christian schools, Christian teachers. But the thing is, they are few and they are expensive. So if you find one, God bless you. If not, what are you going to do? But even that, I would say homeschool, if do it right, homeschool is just a tool, okay? Home is not like, oh, homeschool, I'm going to solve all the problem. But homeschool, we do it right, actually going to have a lot of benefits that only homeschool can produce because you have the relationship and parent can grow too. So because our experience, so we're primarily encourage parents do homeschooling. In a way, it's also easier than what you think. It's easier than what you think. Cheaper than what you think. More benefit than what you think. Okay, so that's why we encourage you to in order to enjoy more blessings, homeschooling is the way to go because you're going to change your lifestyle. You're going to involve the time with your children, and those things money cannot replace. So, okay, can I say that? All right.
And Pastor Lenny, can I make some comments on that question as well?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I just talked with Peter's wife this past weekend. I told, like, what we discuss is it doesn't matter it's public school, private school, or homeschool. If you do not have faith in your home, if your parents do not in control of the education, if you give up your right to educate your child, doesn't matter which type of education, it's a failure to our kids. So the faith-centered home, faith-centered parents, and then we are never give up our right to educate our children. I think that's more important than which school you select. I said that if you want to hear story about bad, like story how bad kids from public school, I have the story. If you want to hear the kids from private school how bad they are, I have the story. If you want to hear even worse story from homeschool kids, I also have the story. So it's our parents has to be the center in our kids' education.
Yes, but also how in today's world also you have to be faithful. Be faithful. I always say, even if today even I homeschool, I fail, I still do it because I will not subject my kids to knowingly know all this evil stuff and send them into that. I won't do it. How can I pass my conscience to say, oh, go to school, learn all this, write this, read all this junk, evil stuff, and then I come back to say, hey, that's no good. This doesn't make sense now. All right. So be faithful and trust in the Lord and God. Yeah. And yeah, thank you. So that's why I always focus the biblical word is a foundation. All right. We need to do it in the right way. Okay. Yeah.
OK，有一个线上的问题，说谢谢郑牧师分享。我是一名基督徒教师，我的学生一个高中生告诉我，他是一个同性恋者，甚至处在一段关系之中。我该如何以真理回应，并且能恰当的引导他？
有位用中文回答吗？
可以。
如果你是在公立学校教书，那你要小心，对，因为你如果okay, if you are in public school, the public school teacher, you got to be careful because if the school find out you say, hey, you're sharing the gospel, you're going to be in trouble. I know many of this case, but yeah, we just need to speak the truth in love. I guess that's speak the truth in love. And Christopher Yuan, when you share the story, is very helpful. His book, his teaching. So I think that is we just need to have a good relationship and speak the truth and guide them, work through them, especially if you could involve with the parents. It's not easy jobs, but yes, it's still possible. All right. But we need to speak the truth first. Yeah. Okay. And there's also a is it called Butterfield, that is a professor of Syracuse. She was a lesbian involved with as an activist. She also now she's a pastor's wife now. So she also has a book talk about that. Right? Yeah, her experience. Okay, any?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Oh, love.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hey. Yeah. So love everything you have to say, but like, what are next steps? How do we get involved? What do we do from here?
Involved with Trumpeter ministry?
Or like, I agree with everything you say. What do we do next?
Wow. Wow. Thank you. So I think Peter can guide you through that. But I would say really, of course, you want to involve with Trump ministry. That's great. I'll be happy to speak, especially not much in the English churches. But if you have kids, I hope that get them out for public school. That's the first thing you want to get involved. Get them out of the public school and warn the people. And if you're the pastor of the church, really, we need to do this together and quick. So, yeah, and I guess Peter will be my liaison. He know how to get involved with me. So just connect with Peter, and yeah, I appreciate it. Encourage what your response. Right. I don't know that. So because I'm more first for the Chinese parents. So I always say to the church leaders, the biblical, the worldview curriculum will be the first step. That if you, that want to help church to know what's going on, there will be 10 weeks. So that will be going much deeper, and to let everybody know what's going on, and hope they will stimulate the plan, the action individually or church-wise. Okay, so that, but that is currently it's in Mandarin first, right? Because we only 3 years. This means only 3 years. I have a lot of work to do, but that will be the first steps. Okay, so you can promote this, introduce this Chinese curriculum, because English one you can just reach out to also. I did many worldview curriculum out there in English. So I don't know, is that an okay answer?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Pastor. I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, I have two questions. One is about the practical applications of the worship setup, with which I think you did it. You had the nail in the head that the church is currently splitting the adults and the children ministry, or even teenagers. Now, the reality, if we put the families together, then I mean, yes, the parents, the father, we had to hold I guess from your sermon, it's the watchman's job. But from a preacher's standpoint, how had been your experience to tailor the sermons towards different segments of audience, right? That's one question.
Yes.
And then the second question is that I think your background, you had 2 to 4 daughters, they all homeschooled. A lot of the homeschool reality is, I mean, co-op can serve some of the community challenges for homeschoolers. But then if you involve in sports or presentation, I think Liu Bei, as we were in the same camp, she advised us to join the debates and everything. That's great. So what are other resources that, based on your experience as a successful homeschooler, that can help bridge the community gap for the family?
Okay, thank you. Great questions. For me, I try to practice that. Actually, my sermon, there's no age limit. I preach the same way. Doesn't matter who are the audience. I'll actually, when I was English pastor, we have 4th grade and up to my father-in-law, 80 years old, right? And actually, this is my wife constantly reminds me, don't be childish, right? So, but I know also you need to be meaty, be practical, all right? And and I use some PowerPoint. Again, I think that if you have your own congregation, you can practice, you can build up that. And so I try to remind myself there's no difference. For example, every day I did the Bible devotion every day. I do the same thing if you join, or they're 6 years old, I do the same thing. All right. So yes, they maybe have some age sensitive things you gotta skip a little bit, but look at the Bible. The Bible never have age separation, right? When Moses preached 10 commandments, everybody's there. When Jesus preached, everybody's there. All right, because and look at the history of the entire human history or church history. there's no separation until 1950 and 60s. And so that is the world view changed us. And we thought that would be better for our kids. Actually, it has counter effect. So yes, it takes a while to reverse back, but I'm sure those who attended this weekend retreat can tell you maybe that's some good new experience that all together, right? So we are doing that slowly to try to counter that, all right? So second, about the community, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing, because 20 years ago when we homeschool, there's not many homeschooler, and make our kids face more challenges. And what I'm doing this is I want to make this generation homeschooler has better life. They will be more accepted by the church, more accepted by the surrounding. And when you have more people do this, then you can have better community, and then you can provide more other opportunities. I know the debate team is very popular now, and sometimes you need to make sacrifice. I know you need to make sacrifice. What is more important? Actually, I have encountered one case of this girl. She attended a very good public high school in Philadelphia area. She was in the cross country team, but the whole classroom would say, "Let's go out to protest for abortion. Are you going?" So she told her mom that if you let me continue in this school, I won't become a Christian. So they decided homeschool. And so she got to let go the cross country for that. Sometimes we need to pay the price, see what's important. So, but I hope by more people doing homeschooling, the church able to get involved, we can create a better one. Even this way, you're going to attract more non-Christian, even say, "Hey, I want to join your program." Instead of we just protest. I'm really tired of protests. We need to devote more our energy and resource, create an alternative one. And more people, many people are looking for the alternative. So that's actually, this is our time. This is church time. We can rise and shine. Okay. It's okay?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, I actually have two questions.
Mm.
The first one is, after praying, like we feel like the best solution for now is just put them in a Christian school, and we tour the Christian school and they are here. Both of them like 3 years old and 6 years old. They actually very good there. It's a very, very, very solid Christian school. So, but we're still having a lot of like guilt or uneasiness. Sometimes we are questioning, okay, should we do homeschooling? I mean, my question is like, when we put them in a Christian school, how we can, also do our parts as a parents to help them. The second question is, we do have a vision to be missionaries in the future. During these years, what might be some good preparation we can do reaching that goal? Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Great. Don't do things with guilt, okay? Don't. That's, I always also encourage myself and say, we want to do things whatever we do joyfully, okay? And you put in a Christian school, I think it is very good already. And I know some mothers, especially, they get involved, they help out the Christian school, right? They also need a lot of help. So they can be involved with their children at school, all right? And maybe you also can teach some course or something there. So you can, if your time available, get involved with school, help out with school. And I want to give credit for those Christian school teacher, pastor, leaders. They are helping, they're doing a ministry. They're also a ministry, okay? So yeah, get involved with that and support them. Secondly, if you want to be a missionary, homeschooling is really the best solution, right? before I heard so many sad stories because parents doing the mission, so they send their kids back home to those missionary school and really causing a lot of how to say, the kids not bitterness in the kids because they feel they got abandoned by their parents. So if the area is safe or something, you bring the kid with you to the mission field. Few years ago, I learned about this story. This Chen Wei-en, I don't know, Chen Wei-en, Wayne Chang. He brought his two girls to a remote country island, very primitive, for mission, and with whole family, two daughters. All right, and he wrote a story, amazing story of that. So, yeah, prepare yourself for this mission. That would be your children can involve with you in the mission. That will be a great experience for them. And so, homeschooling will be the best for that situation. You won't have a Christian school when you go to mission field, all this, and also money wise, but they can get involved with you. So, yeah, that would be a lot of benefit on that. So God bless you for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank
差不多了。
you, Lenny. Yeah, 差不多了。
Yeah. I need to leave time for Peter. He has also more important thing for his ministry. So yeah.
Yeah, also Pastor Lenny is still recovering from the disease, and we don't want to let Pastor Lenny to be too tired. And again, we really appreciate you can share the important information with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. I'll log out. Let you take in charge of the second half. Okay. Thank you, everybody. 谢谢大家。好，我就下线了哈。嗯哼。